All right, here's the Turbo Timber UMX. Get over here, bud. Whoa, where are you? Look at that little thing.
You good?
Yeah. How long have you had this plane?
I think this is my 6th or 7th. I've had it for, I think, ever since they came out with them, from the original one. Look at that knife edge.
Nice.
I've had it since they originally came out, man. From the original one to the upgraded version, and these things are just awesome.
Let's see some invert.
It's an all-around good flyer. Trainer. You can do aerobatics with it. It's just an amazing little plane.
Wow.
Yeah, you could do so much. You could slow it down. You could speed it up for its size.
Yeah, you got a lot of control with that.
Yeah, it's actually really, really, as you can see, controllable. God, it's so smooth. Look at that thing. It's like it's meant to fly inverted. Speed up, come back around.
Let's see what slow's like.
All right, well, I have flaps for you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna slow it down. So you really want to see what slow's like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah, it's a fantastic little plane. I have like a couple, and I've had a bunch, you know, as well. I think all mine are like fully destroyed. I just abuse them so much.
I just pulled this one out of the box.
That is brand new?
Brand new.
Yeah.
This was one I had sitting, so decided to bring it out today. Such a beautiful morning. Such a beautiful plane.
I think I got enough to piece one together.
I'm sure you got enough to piece a couple together.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, I just took off on me, went right out of frame. Look at that.
Let's do some passes, low passes, touching the ground one way.
Nice.
It's so easy to maneuver.
The one wheel touches you're doing aileron to bank and rudder to keep straight?
Correct.
Okay.
For landing.
Ah, look at that.
Let's go full flaps. So originally when I slowed it down, that was half flaps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is full. Okay.
Yeah, I had it on half, so this is gonna be full.
I gotta get mine back up and running. I got a set of floats for it too.
Oh no way! I gotta buy some.
Yeah, when the rains show up here.
It's raining Monday and Tuesday.
It is?
Yep.
Okay.
Full rain.
Yeah, when the rains show up here, the field over here, this little dirt patch, there's a section that floods.
It turned into a little lake.
Yeah. This is Lake Apollo.
Lake Apollo, yep.
So that's when we bring out the little UMXs and, you know, do some float flying here. Nice.
There she is.
Very nice.
UMX Timber. Turbo.
Turbo Timber.
I love it. Turbo Timber.
Yeah. Did you have the original one too?
I had the original one as well.
And what did you think of that one compared to this?
You know, it was good.
Yeah.
But I think the upgraded motor in this.
It's the motor that was the big thing, right? Yeah.
That little bit extra power. Different design on the nose, of course.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome flyer.
What battery? You're using a big battery.
So it's a 500
Yeah.
milliamp. It's a 2-cell. It's a
Yeah.
nanotech. It's an older one, but it works just fine.
Yeah.
They go a little smaller from factory, but you have plenty
Whoops.
of room to actually, you know, go a little bit more. You get a little more flight time.
Yeah, mine, I used a little like 300 packs, you know, on mine.
if
Yeah.
you use- that's what I'm saying. You could go up to like 500. 300 is going to fly a little
Yeah.
bit better, give you more aerobatics, but
Yeah.
this gives you a little more flight time. So,
Oh, good job.
awesome play.
Okay, this is like just a little review on the goods and the bads of this little plane. This is the Turbo Timber UMX, which is phenomenal. It's a really, really good plane. You know, because it's small, it is a little on the delicate side, and there's some things that are a little bit more delicate than others. And quite honestly, it's really not that delicate, except because it's so small and it's such a fun little plane, you abuse it.
Oh yeah.
You end up abusing this plane a lot more than you do your bigger planes.
Once you get comfortable with it.
Yeah, you know, and you fly it around and you crash it and you piece it back together. This one is in like essentially brand new shape. It's first flight today.
Yep.
So it doesn't have all the different like, you know, things that go wrong with it, but I can tell you a couple of them.
It's not a good example to show you guys.
No, not abuse, but of a plane it is. You're gonna drop this thing off a table, or the wind's gonna pick it up and it's gonna drop it. It's gonna hit that tail.
Yep.
When it hits that tail, these are foam hinges, and they back it with a little bit of tape, but it's gonna break there.
It's gonna tear off.
I do like, so there's a couple of different ways you can fix hinges, these foam hinges. Some people just glue, so like foam glue, like foam tack or anything like that, and you just, you know, glue it back together. These are really thin, and actually for me, for the rudder, I end up using an actual huge like Dubro
micro hinge.
No, I used the regular size.
Oh, you
ones.
used
Yeah, I used the regular size ones, and they're the plastic hinges that look like a door hinge for a door, and they've got like a metal pin inside of them. And I use that in here. And the reason why is I want really positive throw for my, you know,
rudder.
For my rudder, and so that's what I end up using. You can use like smaller hinges, you can use tape, but you'll find that if you use tape on these small little surfaces, it's not going to last. You know, it's just not going to last, so I end up using like real hinges on this little plane.
And it doesn't give you full movement on the surface either.
Yeah, it doesn't. So you just like after a while, like, you know, your rudder, your elevator, all of them are a little piece of foam and just a little bit of tape on top of it to reinforce it. And after a while, it is going to break.
Yep.
You know, and then, but that's the best thing to do is use an actual hinge. You know, if you use tape, I do like what they're calling, you know, hinge tape, which is essentially like 3M Blenderm. It's really sticky, but it's also very pliable. So you can use 3M Blenderm, and that works really well for hinges. The other parts that are a little bit weak on this plane, when you nose this thing in, this nose is going to get cut.
Yeah.
Okay. I do highly suggest that when you glue it back in, be very conscious. A lot of people try to glue these planes back in, or the nose back in, and they get the alignment wrong. Most people should know this, but if you don't, so this has down thrust, and it also has right thrust. So if you look this way, it's actually pointed. The propeller is pointed a little bit to the right, and it's also pointed down.
Correct.
So try to keep that. You know, try to keep that. You know, all the time. Just try to keep that, you know, when you glue the nose back in. So be careful on that. The other one that kind of breaks a lot is your gear.
Your landing gear.
Okay. So over here, there is a little screw here, and you see that little plastic tab over there. That usually breaks off. You know, so I just try to, you know, like mend it a little bit and put it back on. But that's another one that you got to be careful of. But if you guys want like a little bit more performance, one of the things that I like to do once you get used to this plane and you're very comfortable with it, you want a little bit more spin, you want a little bit more roll, snap roll better, everything else, is take every single one of these control horns and put the rod through the nearest hole to the surface.
Give you full throw.
It'll give you full throw. Unfortunately, the only drawback to doing that is safe mode. Safe mode becomes super touchy when you do that. I don't run safe mode, so for me it doesn't matter. But that's the only thing. It still works, but it's just more touchy because the surface's deflection is a lot more than, you know, what it thinks. You know, besides that, I think this thing's pretty damn good. If you have to get to any of the like the servos inside, or you gotta you know, do any work inside the plane, there is a line here. And if you just cut with an X-Acto knife on that line, that where the two pieces of foam meet, and you're just cutting through the tape, okay? Over here, up here, and around, this entire top will pop off.
And a little piece on by the rudder. There's a small piece by the section by the rudder as well.
What
on
do you
top.
mean?
Tape.
No, this tape just goes around here.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. That's it right there.
Yeah, right
exactly.
Here. So as long as you cut there, this top will come off, and then now you can get in there and work on your servos, or if you're going to work on a receiver. it's a rat's nest inside there.
Yep.
Okay, so if you do have to like change out, so for example, like I believe the flaps are on its own servo that's actually attached to the wing, whereas the main board's down here. And if you have to like remove that board and change it out or do anything, just make sure to mark all the connections. You know, all the connectors that go into the main board. You know, a lot of them are the same pins. They look like the same, and they're not really labeled in there.
Yep.
So just make sure to mark everything. Like, you know, just put a little, you know, a couple little marks on, you know, each of them, so you can, you know, align up the marks and put it back into the right place. You know, but besides that, this thing is great. The spinner is just glued onto the propeller. Okay, so if you got to take the propeller off, you got to essentially pry that spinner off. You know, and then re-glue it back on
To get access to the screw,
you know. But besides that, I love this plane. This is a good plane, and I got to get one of mine running now after I saw you fly this thing. Or I might have to go just buy another one, screw it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those planes that is great to have. Like, you're going to come to the field, you're going to bring your EDFs, your big planes. You have this thing in there, and you just like have fun with it as a like, you know, maybe a primer to get started.
There you go.
You know, in your day, or to end your day in a nice way. You know. So yeah, the tail wheel is hooked up, and this is half the reason why the rudder breaks too, is the tail wheel is hooked up to the rudder directly.
And it drags,
okay?
snags.
And you put pressure on that, and it's actually putting pressure on the hinge. So not really the greatest design for that. Like, you know, it'd be nice if it was actually onto the body and pivot, you know, but that's fine. You know, I mean, it's a small plane, so you can only do so much, but, you know. Oh. If you start doing, if you take your surfaces and you go to the inside hole, you're going to put hole on the control surfaces, you're going to put a lot more pressure on that wing, especially if you do loops and snap rolls and, you know, things like that. And what I end up noticing is you start seeing cracks in the wing.
Correct.
Okay. And you crash it a couple of times, you're going to crack. You put some cracks in the wing. I like to take like 1 millimeter by maybe 3-4 millimeter carbon strips and place it this way along here like this, so the thin side is pointed up. So I put like a strip that goes straight in there, and that stiffens up the wing a little bit more. If you fly this thing normal with the normal control throws, and you're not doing crazy stuff, it's not necessary.
You're not gonna need it.
But when you start doing a little bit more, you know, aggressive maneuvers, it does help, and especially not necessarily by the maneuvers causing it, but when you crash it a few times.
One of mine actually on a deep dive pulled right out, and the wing snapped in the air. I don't know if you remember or not.
Yeah, it snapped. Yeah, exactly. You know, so doing those
No
kind of little
carbon
mods for
reinforcement.
something like this, I think the plane was built right from the factory for what it is. You know, keep it light, keep it flyable, and then when you start doing more stuff, you can modify it.
There you go.
You know, so all right, that's it.
Happy flying.
Have fun with this one.
Thank you.